YouTube just to make sure we're live and everything. All right, and I've got a chat box, so that's good. Just making sure it's loading up properly. All right. Okay, perfect. So, hey guys, welcome. This is Nick from Hexfleet Virules, and tonight we're doing kind of an impromptu live stream here of all the incredible new stuff that came out today that I just picked up from my friendly local games workshop here in Utah. And as soon as a couple of you are watching, please, if you can hear me, make sure that you type something in the chat box to the right. I've got a little box on the stream here in the left-hand corner so that I can see you typing, just so that I know that the live stream is working right and that you can hear me with the audio. And so, assuming you can hear me, what I've got here is all the stuff that I picked up today, and we have here the new version 2 of the Chaos Space Marine Codex with all the updates, and we have here the very nice limited edition of the Vigilus Ablaze supplement. We have the web-only art cards that I'm going to frame and put on my wall there next to all my other posters. And we have the limited edition, kind of online only, I think, pin for the campaign for Vigilus 2. I guess there was one for Vigilus Defiant, but I don't care about that because I play Chaos. And then we have the thing here that I am very, very happy about, which is the dog tags. And these are one of the main reasons I did the web order stuff, when normally I try to purchase from my local game store, support them, maybe get a bit of a discount. And kind of hard to get in focus here, but you could see here, these are, when I opened them, these are officially called Chaos Cultist dog tags. And I guess, I don't know if they've been released before, but they made it sound like this is something that's only for ordering the special kit online that came with the new updated Chaos Space Marine Codex and a box of Chaos Space Marines and some other stuff. And so I'm pretty happy to get these. It's kind of cool, the skull. It looks like it's from traders that marked out their dog tag stuff and instead put a bunch of heretical stuff, as a good cultist is supposed to do. And so I thought that what I would do here is just go through some of these one by one. I have not opened any of these really, other than to make sure that everything was in there. And let's see here. So, trying to go through these to figure out which I should do first is pretty hard. What I'm going to do here is clean up these a little bit so that they don't all fall apart on me when I start moving them, because we're doing a bit of wobbly cam right now. I don't have a tripod yet for my camera, so I'm actually wearing the little camera, which means I need to be careful that I don't knock everything over when I start opening these. And you could see here how awesome some of these are. Trying to get it to focus a little bit. Just beautiful, beautiful, really incredible artwork from the Vigilus Ablaze new book. And there's all the Harkon. Wish you had better rules. And so let's get some of these out of the way right now and take a look. So first, let's take a look at this really beautiful Vigilus Ablaze Special Edition. And it's pretty bright here in the live stream. But in reality, it's a good bit darker. And it's actually kind of blue, and the detail just jumps out at you. Really nice on the front and the back. Got a little chaos quote there. Look upon your devoted servants, dark ones, and see the carnage we have wrought in your name. Are we not worthy of reward? Have we not earned a divine transformation in your service? Sounds like someone wants to roll on the boon table. All right. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, very nice. Now, here's the funny thing about the special edition. Normally, you're supposed to have this part on the outside, but then it's backwards. So that's how I put it in. And there you can see they've just got some nice touches. It feels very nice. They did a good job on this, just like some of the special editions from 7th edition that I really loved. Let's see here what we've got, and some cool art of the new Lord Discordant. Let's see if this is numbered anywhere. I don't see that. They used to do that with all the limited editions, was just number them. But I guess not anymore. I don't see it in here either. So maybe they stopped doing that, at least with the supplements. I think they still do it with some of the codexes. And so this here is really nice. It's a big, beefy book. I'm really looking forward to reading this tonight or tomorrow because I have not seen the story yet. And I kind of want to know what happens. A lot of people have been bashing on it online. I don't know what it is, so I'm excited to find out. And I'm definitely going to pore over all this great stuff. I mean, come on, Forces of the Alpha Legion. I always want to know more about the Alpha Legion, including where all they've attacked. So this is great for me. And you could see here, I don't know if you could see it that well on the camera, there's this beautiful silver lining that they did for this limited edition. Just really well done along everything. It just says quality, so I'm pretty happy with this purchase, even though I didn't need to purchase this and the version 2. And of course, you've probably seen all the rules online. I'm happy to see that they copied this over from Vigilus 1, so you don't have to have both. This is Field Commander. It's a really useful ability that I'm going to use a lot, along with Council of Traders from Black Legion. Basically, this just means... God, it's so difficult to get this into focus. This just means that you can pick a character that's in a specialist detachment and give them the Warlord trait from that detachment. And it's before the battles, you can do this multiple times. You know, if you have 3 detachments that are all specialist, you can do it 3 times. You're spending 6 command points at that point, but this is really nice if you want to get like a Lord Discordant with the half damage Warlord trait or something like that. And of course here we have Abaddon the Spoiler, who now I finally have right over here, and I'm going to unpack him in a minute. And just all the good stuff that I've been wanting to get my hands on for the last couple of weeks. Beautiful book. Going to put this in here and then move on to the next thing. This is just the updated version of the book. What really shocked me about this is adding the new rules, how much thicker it is. It's pretty crazy. Hey James, if you can hear me, try saying something in the chat. I see you chatting in the chat box. Let's see if I can get this to run live here in the corner. I guess it doesn't want to. Yeah, pretty slick. If you guys can hear me, make sure you say something in the chat. I muted myself on the computer because I don't want any feedback. Okay, perfect. Well, thanks for letting me know it's a little muffled. I probably can't avoid that because I am actually wearing my camera right here on my chest until I get a tripod. So sorry about that, but hopefully it's clear enough. I'll try to talk a little louder. So here, just looking through this new version 2 of the book, it does not seem to have the renegade stuff, but it does have the other things again, like the prayers to the dark gods, malefic, really slick. What's funny about this is the whole point of this is to have updated rules and points. And then if you look, someone really was asleep at the wheel. And let me see if I can find it here. Where's the heavy support? Yeah, so immediately upon printing, we're outdated because it says right here 65 points for obliterators. We all know that's not true because here in this new book it's 115, which is too much, but it is what it is. And for those of you who are just joining, I see a couple of you now. I do want to show this again. I showed this at the start of the video. This is really neat. This you could only get online, which is one reason I did the online order. So these are the, you know, they didn't really describe them online, but when I opened the little bag to see the SKU number, the official name on this for Games Workshop inventory is Chaos Cultist Dog Tag. So I really like these. They feel really nice. They're actually really etched and carved into the dog tag, like you'd expect. And it looks like what this is supposed to be is like the actual dog tags of an Imperial Guardsman that have been carved out in devotion to the dark gods. Probably took this cultist a little bit of time, but you know, that's what you're supposed to do when you're a cultist. You're just supposed to take all the time to carve up your vehicle and tag it, show how loyal you are. So let me cycle quickly through these art cards and then go to the dice. These were also only available online, and I was actually at a tournament, which I'm going to talk to Tuesday night. Tuesday night, I'm going to put up the promo graphics tomorrow. Tomorrow, thanks to popular demand, I am going over Winning with Slaanesh, saying Slaanesh's new meta, the new demon stuff, the new Chaos Space Marine stuff, a lot of tactics I've seen in Vigilus Ablaze that I think most people haven't seen yet. And so it's going to be mostly Slaanesh, but I'm also going to talk about the tournament I went to a week ago where I won first place with the Mortarion list I talked about in episode 2 in... yeah, the dog tags are not trash, man. I am keeping those. But yeah, so on episode 2 of Warp Surge Radio on this YouTube channel, I talked about, hey, listen, you can run a list with Mortarion if you're creative and you know some of the tricks. Well, I put my money where my mouth is, and I got first place in the ITC tournament, and I got best painted. So they gave me best overall and a big fat prize at the store. So I'll be going over that game in the second half of my show Tuesday. I've got pictures of my games, just like from my LVO report, and I'll explain how the list worked and how I won my games with Mortarion. But back to this. These are just some art cards that I'm going to probably all put in one big frame together and put on the wall. They are pretty thin, but they even have a little description on the back, which is kind of neat. Oh, they're numbered 5 out of 6, so that's pretty cool. They're nice graphics, high quality. I'm pretty happy with these. And I'm looking forward to putting these on my wall, something like that. I'm definitely not going to use them as postcards because these are rare limited edition. They were while supplies last only, so that's why I brought up the tournament. I was sitting there with getting my stuff out, but the tournament in theory was supposed to start right when all this stuff went on pre-order, right? And so I'm sitting there and I've got a Surface Pro hotspotting off my phone, and I'm hitting F5, 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 hoping to refresh it because I already knew from the New Zealand website that goes on pre-order earlier exactly what I wanted. And so I wanted to make sure not only that I got the limited editions, but also that I got the stuff that you got for free like this before it sold out, because it just said supplies are limited. It's a kind of clever marketing gimmick, but at least with me it worked. And I actually bought, you know, 3 of these dice sets because they're awesome. And, you know, I thought maybe someday I do a contest and I give one away or something, because I didn't know if these were going to sell in the first 5 minutes, right? Some of you who are Chaos players, who are Thousand Suns fans, you might remember when the Thousand Suns stuff first went on sale. I don't remember. I think it might have been, I don't remember if it was Wrath of Magnus or if it's just when the Chaos, Thousand Suns Codex came out, but they had these special dice, and they sold out in like the first 5 minutes. And so they probably produced more of the dice this time, but I just wanted to be sure. So let's open one of these for the first time. I haven't looked at these yet. All right, so those actually look really nice. Oh, wow. These feel really nice in my hands. They feel not too heavy, but they feel fairly heavy. I mean, I have the Death Guard Special Edition dice, and those feel light. These feel and sound a lot heavier. So, you know, hey, I got a 3. These are really, really nice. This is my first time holding them, and I thought they would be maybe a little crappy, but these are really great. They feel substantial, and the details feel really good in kind of the etched raised part of the dice. And so that's the 1. And then, you know, the kind of Black Legion kind of chaos symbol, that is the supposed to be the 6 on the die. So looks really good. Rolling a bunch of these, I mean, they also feel a little bigger than the Nurgle dice. So actually, to be honest, I can barely get, well, maybe these are supposed to be 20 dice? Yeah, okay, that makes a lot more sense. So I'm usually rolling 10 at a time, but if I need to roll 20, these are big enough and they're heavy enough. It is actually kind of hard to hold these all 20 in my hand at once. Now, you could say it's hard to hold 20 of any dice in your hands, unless they're really small, which is true. But I'm noticing that because they're a little heavy and they have all these details, the edges of these, it actually feels really smooth and kind of slippery. So maybe that's good because they're going to roll more and you want them to roll instead of just sitting on one end. But it actually makes it, between the size and the weight and the fact that they feel kind of slippery against each other, it's going to be fun to throw these on the table and watch them go everywhere, unless they go under the table. But it does actually make them pretty hard. It's pretty tough to do 20 of these at a time. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep all of these sets. I just, you know, thought if they sold out, maybe I could do a contest for all my followers or something. But these are much cooler than I expected. Although maybe there's some use on these that I didn't quite expect in terms of how they rub against each other and the size and the weight. But what that tells me is these are definitely not crappy dice. At least they don't feel like it. They don't seem cheap. They seem really cool. So from my mind, they are definitely worth the $20, and they will get you style points. And even the inside of the box has, you know, art on it. You know, that's pretty cool. That's a nice little touch. So way to go, Games Workshop. But definitely better than some of your dice that I've gotten. All right, let's see what's next in here. So I do have this pin. This looks like it's just got this little Eye of Horus type thing in there from Black Legion. And yeah, exclusive to GamesWorkshop.com is what it says up here. I didn't get the one because I didn't care about Vigilus Defiant, but it's cool having this one because it only came if you ordered these online. So I'll do one thing real quick that's not exclusive, but this is just new. And I've always heard that Hansu is a badass, and this is like classic reading for Chaos Space Marines. And if you guys know a little bit of what I have in my room, you know that I have a lot of books for Chaos, including limited editions, right? I mean, look, I've got the original Lost and the Damned, and, you know, all the other stuff, Slaves to Darkness, the Black Library limited editions, just all that stuff, and, you know, Wrath of Magnus and everything down there. And then over here, you know, I've got my bookshelf with the Black Legion stuff, and just, I'm not going to go over there right now, but, you know, I have a lot of Chaos materials, but somehow I never got this one. And I am really, really pumped to go through this. I actually, as I mentioned today on my Facebook page, I have a, today I finished the first year of a graduate program that I'm doing on the weekends. So that's why I'm not going to as many tournaments. Every other Friday, Saturday, I'm in school for 16 hours. And in between that, I'm pretty busy. And so part of this is kind of my reward to myself. And what I really have here is something that I can use on my vacation, because I am going to go for 2 weeks during my school break, and I'm going to go through Europe. And I wanted to be able to read at least one thing that's not more textbooks, and this is perfect. And it comes with, by the way, there was an Iron War Trilogy, but when this got published, what it said on the website is this contains some new short stories. So, okay, well, here's the contents. It's supposed to be 3 books, but it definitely looks like there's a couple things in here. And I think the previous trilogy also had some short stories, but they made it sound on the Black Library website like they are repackaging this and adding even more short stories, or at least, you know, so that's good. It's definitely beefy. Looking forward to that. So let's look at the next thing. Why don't we look at some actual kits like Abaddon? I've seen a few people who got theirs early, or, you know, they run a store, and I was super jealous. So now I get to open this bad boy myself. All right, okay. There's a kit, so you don't accidentally glue his face where his sword is supposed to be, and his sword where his face is supposed to be. Doesn't look too terribly complicated, which is nice. Let's see here. I'm going to try to hold this kind of close to the camera. Obviously, you could see this on the Games Workshop website, but for me, seeing it in person now is really neat. I always love this part when you can rub your hands over the actual sprues and kind of see them. I think that's something special. And in fact, if you watch the Warhammer 40,000 podcast, you know, the Voxcast or whatever that the Games Workshop people put out, they talk about how they interviewed the miniature sculptor who did this, and he talks about how part of the design philosophy for Games Workshop is that unpacking a miniature is part of the unique experience of the hobby, and they want you to have a kind of wow factor when you first unpack a box. I'm sorry I have a hard time getting into focus here. I guess it's trying to fight me a little bit, but beautiful, beautiful sprue. I always like to run my hand along it. You may have seen already that one little thing they did here, just to make it a little cooler, is they actually have details that are covered up when you finish the models, that you can see what it kind of looks like when, you know, what it's supposed to look like under the first layer of the suit of power armor. So What I really like about, oh man, and here's Draconian, so that is just really, really cool. I love that. Well, what I love about this is you can customize him a little bit, and so honestly, what I want to do here is, let's see if I can find it. They have a couple different pictures, so what I would like to do is, I do want the cape, and I do want the ridiculous trophy rack. Probably just makes it easier to shoot him rather than hiding him behind terrain. So from a tournament perspective, it's probably stupid, but I feel like he deserves it. But he comes with, and it's kind of silly they don't show it here. Oh, here it is. Okay, so he comes with this awesome kind of Bane mask. And none of the pictures that I saw online had the Bane mask and the cloak. And so I feel like when you do that, that's going to be pretty slick. And I'm planning on having this commission painted by GMM again. And, you know, I'm going to have black armor, gold trim, kind of like this, but, you know, gold claw, white sword, white or black hair, a white kind of ghostly cloak material that you see on my Death Guard guys, and then the Bane mask. And I think that's going to look really, really slick. And probably not a lot of people are going to paint it that way. And so I'm really looking forward to getting that painted. But in the meantime, I want to build this guy because from all the pictures I've seen, he's supposed to be huge. And so having a badass like that is going to be really, really fun. And if you've watched my page recently, you know I have a thread going where I'm posting some list ideas that I have for the new codex. And lately I've gravitated towards putting Abaddon in there because for 240 he does quite a lot. And so now let's look at this, the new Chaos Space Marine box. I guess that's the last thing I've got. All right. I love this. You know, we waited so long, so many of us, for new Chaos Space Marines. I have the Dark Vengeance ones still kind of waiting to be built, but they're not quite this big. So as far as I'm concerned, this is the real deal. Oh wow. Well, it's 3 sprues. That's pretty neat. Let's see what these look like in person. Really nice. You know, I maybe shouldn't be getting so attached to these sprues, like the guns, because here's the funny thing. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with these guys. Yeah, I do need some Chaos Space Marines, but I can always use my Plague Marines that I have, especially custom-built ones, and just say my guys are normal Chaos Space Marines and they're Nurgle marked. So what am I really going to do with these guys? Well, here's the thing. I want to run 15 Havocs. Well, and everyone's saying, well, you can't really get enough of the gun, because if you buy the new Havoc box, you only get a couple. Well, actually, you get. Let's be more specific. You get one. I think they're called rotator cannons. Is the new cool gun that's you do 8 shots each. And so, what are you going to do? Well, I got these neat little bits from. Let's see if I can get it to focus here. It always wants to focus on the background for some reason. So, no. So I'm just going to hold it far away. So these are really slick bits from Pop Goes the Monkey. I think they're called, there's one called the Anger Cannon, which is kind of like an auto cannon. And then there's one that looks exactly, and this is before Games Workshop ever came out with this gun, right? But this looks very, very similar to what you might expect. And it's hard to tell here, but it's got all the same like little barrel lines, and it actually has some chaos arrows, And you can almost sort of see here, it's got some spikes on the end. So, and it's got 2 hands. And so what I want to do, I got 8 of these. It was like 15 bucks for all of them, plus some shipping. And what I want to do is take this squad of Chaos Space Marines and chop the hell out of them. And basically take these bolter arms and figure out how to replace some of these arms and hands, including wherever the offhand arms are. Let's see here. These are really nice shoulder pads, by the way. So somewhere on here are going to be the other arms. I guess here's some of them. And you could see here, you know, if some of them have swords and whatever, or chain swords. And here's some of the other ones. So I'm going to chop these all up and try to fit them to all these. And then this squad of 10 guys is basically going to make me my 2 Havoc squads. And so I recommend looking that up on Pop Goes the Monkey. Pretty cool site. Unfortunately, they don't really make combi bolters for Chaos, which I would want for my upcoming Terminators. But I mean, I have another idea for that too. So, well, guys, that's really it. So, unless you guys have some questions in the chat, which I'm kind of bugged that my chat window here hasn't really been working. Yeah, if you guys have any questions about any of the limited edition stuff, or what's in any of the sprues, you just let me know. I'm kind of open to anything. And well, I guess the chat box isn't really working. It worked last time on my last couple streams, so I'm not sure what the difference is now. But if no one has any questions, I appreciate you guys tuning in. It's a pretty exciting evening for me. And what I'm going to do now is... Oh, I see. I know why it's not working. All right. This stuff all updated. And so that's good to know, so that I know for my live stream Tuesday night. They heavily updated the streaming software I use, which is in beta testing still. And basically I have to re-authenticate with YouTube. So that's good. I'll have that fixed for Tuesday night. Sorry about that. But yeah, James, Cromlech has good stuff. I have a lot of Cromlech things, but one of the things that I was interested in, besides the fact that it's kind of crappy here, but if you actually go on the Pop Goes the Monkey website, you'll see how good these guns are. I'm worried they might be just a little too small for the hands and stuff, or for the gun, but we'll see. It should work either way. The thing is, I don't like ordering from Europe, because sometimes it gets here, you know, in 10 days, and then sometimes it takes weeks. So Pop Goes the Monkeys in the US, and so that worked pretty well for me. Yeah, I know that they might not allow them at the LVO, James, but you know, if you've seen my armies, the bits are the least of my problems. I have, you know, really cool third-party models that have been painted up beautifully by GMM. I spent a fortune on them. They all have secret weapon bases, and so my understanding is, at least right now, they actually do allow just some bits that are third-party, as long as the model is GW, and I have whole models that are sometimes not GW, so that's really the least of my issues. But hey, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Reminder that Tuesday night, probably something like 7 or 8 in the evening, Central Time, Mountain Time, roughly around there, maybe, you know, 8 o'clock Central Time, something like that. 7 o'clock Mountain Time is when I'm probably going to be going live again. I've been trying to go live on Tuesday nights, and I've got a bunch of Slaanesh stuff planned, a tournament report, a lot of really cool combos that you can try with Slaanesh in the new book. So be on the lookout for that. And until then, Thanks for checking in, and I will see you guys Tuesday night.